Hello, welcome to Taylor Fitness, Ash on the mat. Today we are starting standing, so roll out your mat and we'll get started. You want to bring your feet and knees together to start. We're going to turn out the toes, align the heels with the toes, so we have quite a narrow parallel stance. We have a little bit of softness in the knees, gently drawing abdominals in and then lengthening through the crown of the head with a nice tall spine. I'm just going to take a moment to really come into the breath and into the body, taking a nice big inhale through the nose and the exhale through the mouth. And we're drawing down through the shoulders, avoiding those shoulders that shrug up. Breathing in and releasing that breath. And let's take one more breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing that out through the mouth. And we're going to start with some roll downs today. So I'm going to do this side on so you can see a little better. I'm going to come this side actually. Feet still nice and narrow. Obviously I've moved, you haven't. But we want to roll down through those shoulders. So we're going to lift up the chin gently, opening the throat, taking our inhale. And as we exhale, we dip the chin down and we're coming down over the legs. Now we might need to bend the knees a little bit more. If it's too much, you can rest on the thighs. Hanging the head, taking an inhale here. And then with the exhale, we bend, rounding up to standing. We're restacking the spine, bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. We'll lift the chin here, taking our inhale again, throat opening. And then with the exhale, keeping the chin off the chest as we draw down over the legs. Breathing in as we hang, shoulders relaxed. Breathing out, we bend and round up to standing. Bringing the weight into the heels. And inhale, lift the chin. And exhale, nodding the chin down, back over the legs we go. Holding for our inhale, hanging for our inhale, and then the exhale, once again, bend and round up through that spine. Head comes up last, lengthening through the crown. One more time, inhale, open throat, and exhale to draw down over the legs. Neck released, we inhale, and again the exhale, a little extra bend for some momentum, using those stomach muscles, right back up to standing. Okay, now we are going to come out a little bit wider with the feet. So I usually say about the width of your mat for this one. We'll bring the hands to the low back, and then a nice big hinge forwards with a flat back here, feeling a bit of extra stretch in the back of the thighs. Now what we're going to do is a little bend of the knees, and then extend the legs. Little bend, extend the legs. Just starting to get a little bit of mobility for the hips and the knees. Inhale, bend. Exhale to lengthen. Breathing in and breathing out. Just keeping that nice straight spine. A little bit of a lift of the chin with this one. So it's not really a squat, but we're doing one more. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll stay here for a moment, bringing the hands to the hips. Nice deep breath. Pulling in those stomach muscles, let's draw the shoulders right back over the hips from there. Okay, now from here I'm going to get you to step out a little bit wider once again, so you might need to be this way on your mat. I'm assuming you are this way on your mat already. Feet a little wider, and then let's just hinge side to side. So a little bit of stretch now through the inner thighs, the groin, the hips. We want to sink the hips back, pushing back the bottom, pushing back the hips. And we just want to continue to breathe, never holding breath. Lovely, nice flat feet. And just for 4. And 2. Great, last one there. And then we come back to standing from there. And all we'll do here is just give the feet a little kick towards the bottom, loosening the front of the thighs a little bit. Nice and tall through the spine. Heels to bottom for 4. 3, 2, and a 1. Okay, let's come back to narrow stance. So the feet are going to be this distance apart. And then we're coming in with our squats from here. So we're going to extend the arms out. Nice big reach to fingertips as we sit back the hips. And then coming back to standing. Let's inhale as we bend. And exhale as we come up, pushing into the heels, breathing in. And breathing out to stand with that tall spine. And reach to fingertips. Just watch out for knees drawing inwards. Knees towards toes. Breathing in to bend. Breathing out to stand for 3. For 2. And one more time with that one. Breathing in, we reach. Sitting the hips back. Breathing out to stand. Now I'm going to add a little bit onto this. So we're going to take our inhale, bend again. Exhale, lifting the heels, creaky feet. Inhale, heels down. Exhale to come up a little bit of balance. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So with this one, we gently, softly bring the heels down. Pushing into the heels to come back to standing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The arms reaching is really going to help with that balance. We're pulling navel to spine as well. We have just 2 more. Inhale, bend. Exhale, heels up. I've got creaky feet today. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, heels down even. Exhale, back. 1 more. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Let's see if we can hold that for a moment. So if we reach the arms once again, lift both heels. Hold in there. Feeling that in the lower legs. Stomach muscles in. Breathe for 3. 2 more breaths. A little bit shaky. 1 more breath there. And then let's bring that back to standing, placing the heels back down on the floor. Okay, we're going to roll down to the mat from here like we did before. So let's do the same throat opener. On the inhale, lifting the chin towards the ceiling. And with the exhale, drawing down over the legs. And we'll walk the hands out along that mat. Coming into our plank position. So in plank, we want chin above shoulders, ears above shoulders. Nice strong press through palms, looking towards the hands. Breathing steady breaths, holding just 5. Pressing hamstrings to ceiling, back of thighs to ceiling. You're going to feel it pulling your quads. So that's 3, 2, 1. And then we'll place the knees down and take a little walk back for a moment, just bringing the weight off the hands to shake off the wrists if needs be. Okay, from here I'm going to get you to come onto your forearms. So we'll draw down. Elbows are going to be right underneath the shoulders. And then let's extend back the right leg. This might look like my left, but either leg. Okay, now stomach muscles pulling in, looking towards the hands. We're going to lift the foot away from the floor. And then just a little bend extend here. Again, we loosen the front of the thighs. We want to press the hamstring towards the ceiling as we lengthen the leg away. We inhale, bend. And we exhale to extend. Watch out for that sinking feeling. Keep looking towards your hands, keeping that length through the spine. Inhale, bend. And exhale to extend out. Nice long leg. It really is just the lower leg that's moving. We're keeping that lifted knee. Keeping the upper leg steady. 1 more. Inhale in. And exhale that away. And let's just have a little pulse here. So starting to feel that in your glutes, in your buttocks, in the back of the thigh, really stable on the supporting leg. Breath flowing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll draw that back in from there. Ooh, let's push up for a moment. So we're going to extend back that same leg and reach opposite arm to leg here, lifting away from the mat. Let's try a little tap down. We draw down towards the floor and then lift once again from there. Tapping down towards the floor and lifting away from that mat. We want the ear to remain above the shoulder on this supporting arm. Inhale down. Exhale, lifting. We're avoiding a swing. It's a nice controlled motion. And we have just 1 more of those. Breathing in, breathing out as we lift. Great, let's bring that back in from there. And once again, we'll take a moment, take a seat back or kneel back. Give the wrists a little shake off. Ooh, take a breath, take a moment. Okay, let's do this on the other side then. So we're going to come back to the forearms first. Lengthen back that left leg, or if you did left, doing the right leg or the leg, and let's bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. So we have ears above shoulders, eye line to the hands, navel to the spine, abs engaged, and then we are lifting the foot away from the floor. We take an inhale as we bend the knee, foot to butt, and an exhale as we lengthen the leg away. Breathing in to bend, breathing out to extend. Ooh, keeping a lifted knee, lower leg only moving. A little bit of a pause so that we can engage the hamstring, the back of the thigh. Pressing the back of the thigh towards the ceiling as we lengthen out. Just a couple more. 1 more time, inhale, bend. And exhale to extend. Little pulses are back, so it is still a lift from the hip rather than from the foot. Movement from the center, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, we'll bring that back down from there. Coming up, the hands replacing the elbows so we can keep the shoulders aligned above the hands. They were just above the elbows. And then same leg extends, we're reaching out opposite arm to leg, lifting away from the mat. Just checking that we've got the ear above the shoulder on this supporting arm, avoiding that sinking feeling. We inhale as we tap the floor and we exhale as we lift. Nice long reach. Breathing in to tap down. Breathing out, we lift smooth, squeezing the bottom at the top. Strong press through the palm that's on the mat. Last couple, inhale, tap. Extend as much as possible, one more time. Abs in, inhale, tap. And exhale to lift and squeeze. Fab, and we'll bring that back in from there. Again, taking a moment, giving the wrists a little shake off if you need to. Okay, we're going to come down onto our backs from here. So quite a bit for the lower body today. Get those leggies. We'll shuffle forwards, we'll roll it down to the mat bit by bit. So we can do it, as always, with hands out in front, or we could support behind the knees, whichever you're most comfortable with. Okay, nice stacked spine before we set off. We take our inhale, and our exhale, we start to lean, and we're rounding down, controlling this down to the floor. We're going to bring the feet in, so the feet, heels are underneath the knees. Arms are reaching, finding that neutral spine position, little curve in the lower back, and abs engaged from pelvic floor upwards. Weight nice and even down the center of the body. Okay, coming into our bridge, we're going to tilt and press. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis towards the face. Coming up through the spine bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. We're holding at the top. And then we're just going to do these little dips where we lower the hips and lift the hips, lower the hips and lift the hips. Now we might find that the knees sort of sway a little bit here as we do this one, trying to keep the hips parallel to the ceiling. Inhale down, exhale, press and squeeze. Let's do just another 3 of those. For 2. Flat-footed, one more time, inhale, dip. And exhale, press and squeeze. Now we're going to lift the heels from here. Usually when we lift the heels, the feet feel a little bit further away. So you might find you want to bring those heels in a bit closer. Lifting both heels off the mat onto the balls of the feet. And seeing if we can press the hips a little bit higher. We're squeezing those glutes still. Breathing as well. Holding. I want to do those dips once again, feeling it a little bit more in the front of the thighs. Feeling it kind of everywhere actually, but let's inhale, bend, dip even, and exhale to press. Inhale, little dip, exhale to press. Now I always find that the hips, the knees sway a little bit more when we've got the heels off the floor, so just watch out for that. And we have 3, inhale, dip, exhale, press really strong through those ankles. One more time, inhale, dip, exhale, press, let's hold it, still squeezing glutes, big breath. Big inhale, and as we exhale, we'll lower those heels, draw that all the way back down to the mat, and just bring the legs in for a little cuddle. Shaking it off, good old wiggle, good old shake, nice floppy feet. Take a moment here. Whew, okay, and then from here, we're going to bring the legs up so that we have the knees above the hip bones. We're going to straighten the legs. So you might find that the legs don't want to go perfectly straight, don't worry too much about that. Now let's open the toes. So you're making this V shape with the feet. The heels are together, the toes are apart, abdominals engaged. And then we're going to bend the knees, drawing the knees sort of over the chest, towards the chest. And then we're pressing through the heels. Now with this one, you want to open the knees wide as you bend. Big push through the heels. See if you can squeeze the legs together. We're working into those outer thighs. Big toes never touch at all. We try not to sort of draw the feet towards the bottom, so you can always see your feet with this one. We inhale as we bend, and we exhale, that push. Inhale, bend, and exhale to push. We have 3. Really squeezing knees together in the thighs. For 2. One more time, inhale, bend. And exhale, pressing through the heels. Lovely, we'll turn those toes back in, give the legs another little shake out if needs be, and we have one for inner thighs as well. So let's lengthen the legs back towards the ceiling, flex the feet, a little bend if we need a little bend in the knees, stomach muscles connected, and then we open into our V shape. Now with the V shape, we don't really go too wide, because we're trying to work into the inner thighs, so it's not so much of a stretch as it is the inner thigh muscles controlling this movement. But we really are opening from the hips rather than the feet. The feet, although we're pushing through the heels, are pretty still to open from the center of the body. And if we think about the inner thighs and have that mind to muscle connection, we do tend to feel it more here. Let's inhale, open. Exhale, squeezing that back in for 3. Inhale, open. And exhaling just for 2. One more time with that one. Inhale, feet apart. And exhale it in. And then just to finish here, little pulses. Little pulses. A little bit of extra inner thigh burn. We're breathing. Shoulders up or back, nice and relaxed. Face relaxed. Forehead relaxed. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll bring the feet back in. Let's grab a hold of the ankles, knees towards the chest. Open up the knees a little bit wider. Feel that nice stretch in the inner thighs, around the groin, around the hips. Give the feet a little wiggle as well, just so we're moving the extremities, getting a bit of movement. Ooh, my very creaky toes today. Let's take one more deep breath there. Fab. And then we're just having a little stretch here as well. So we're going to bring one foot to the floor, one knee to the chest. And then nice strong pull here. Let's take a moment. Elbows tucking in towards our sides. And then we'll extend this leg up into our hamstring stretch. Lengthen up the leg, give it a little pull at the top. Push down through that lower back. Should feel really nice. We'll take a couple of extra breaths here. Sending oxygen to the hamstring, to the back of the thigh. So one more deep breath there. Okay, and then if we bend this knee and just gently bring the foot back down to the floor, and we're switching. So we'll start with this one, knee to chest first. Cuddle it in, tuck the elbows in towards your waist, towards your ribs, and deep breath. Really strong pull, that one. Really getting the thigh nice and close to the body. And then let's extend to the ceiling into that hamstring stretch. We can lace the fingers for a little bit of a stronger pull here. We don't want to force the stretch, we do want to feel the stretch though. And then a few breaths here, pushing down through that lower back. Breaths are always a little bit longer, slower and deeper when we are stretching, when we're holding nice and still. And I always feel tighter on this side, so I'm going to stay here just a moment longer, an extra breath or 2. Imagine you're breathing into that hamstring, oxygen to the area that we're stretching. One more deep breath. Chances are you're on the tighter side as well. We always do the favourite leg first, the looser leg first. Okay, gently we bend the knee, bring the foot back down to the floor, and we're going to come up to sit. We can either roll over the shoulder or rock ourselves up to seated. As always, I have 3 deep breaths for you to finish. You could repeat that workout a couple more times if you wanted to work a little bit harder today, a bit of a stronger, lengthier workout. And we will bring the hands out, palms to ceiling. Taking our inhale as we raise the arms, and our exhale as we release for 2. Breathing in as we reach, breathing out as we release. One more time. Inhale, lift, and exhale to release. Thank you very much for joining me on the mat today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and comment for any suggestions for videos you'd like to see. Thank you.